Hello guys, this is Michael Burhan here, and this is Jonah John. You know him from This Job for Hire. He plays my brother Jonah, who basically is my real life brother. As you can tell, we actually come from the same father. He's the milkman, I'm the postman. And today we want to talk about Ben Affleck, and this is the reason why I brought him here, because he's a huge Batman fan. He's he's been with me since... When was the first Batman movie? That was like 89, wasn't it?
I think it was...
Batman, it was 89. Michael Keaton.
87 or 89.
It was 89.
You sure it was 89?
Yeah. Okay. It was 1989. I was literally, I believe, how old was I? I was about 4?
Yep.
4 years old. And Jonah here, basically, how old was you at the time? About...
10?
I think about 10 years old. So you can see the age difference in both of us.
Yeah, I look younger, don't I?
He has more of the understanding of the Batman movies. I have a great understanding of it as well, because, you know, I've been basically watching... I've been through the whole franchise. And out of the both of us, I couldn't even invite my sister here today. She was the only person who watched Batman and Robin in the cinema. So... there we go on that. But we're going off topic quite a bit. But just to introduce him, we know who he is. You're going to see a lot more of him because he's going to be involved in a lot with This Job for Hire, especially in scenes that introduce him and Mikey. So it's going to be very funny what's going on. He plays a version of himself, sort of like a variation of his character. Now, the big news coming out, and this has been going on for like 2 weeks now, is Ben Affleck has been announced by DC as Batman. He's going to be Batman in the Batman-Superman universe, basically. It's not the Nolan films that we can write that off as an Elseworld story, is what I was talking about before with the Christian Bale video that I did. And people are reacting really badly to this, to the point where they've actually sent a petition on change.org to the President of the United States to try and get him to stop Ben Affleck as being Batman. And this is the funny thing about this situation, because of the fact that there's problems going on in terms of like America looking to invade Syria and loads of other like fiscal issues. But no, they're not as important as Ben Affleck being Batman. He must be stopped. The president needs to make the order. I just find that extremely stupid, by the way. Now, I don't understand what people's issue is with this. Yes, he was a part of a movie called Daredevil. Again, it's just something that we've mutually watched. We've got a huge passion for superhero stuff. Yep. And he's a huge comic book fan, just like myself, where he doesn't actually keep as much up to date about it than I do. But you're good. You know as much as you know. He does keep he watches the cartoons and stuff. He's a big fan of Ultimate Spider-Man. But yeah, so... this is a big thing with people. People are getting annoyed about this. Now, one big thing that I think we need to sort of talk about here is Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. When he was cast originally in Tim Burton's version of Batman, people didn't want him. They said he was too short. He's kind of a similar height to myself. Different stature, of course. And he wasn't actually... his acting chops weren't that great. You know, he didn't have... a huge level of movies under his belt. I think the thing he did before that was Beetlejuice, wasn't it?
That's correct, but he actually done really well, to be honest, in the Batman. He done 2 roles that was amazing. Batman 1 and then Batman Returns. And then they were actually going to get him to do another Batman, and he done the wise thing and said, nah.
Yeah, I remember he was like, where's Burton? Oh, he's no longer a part of this movie. Okay, thank you.
Later.
Take the costume off, I'll see you later. And that's the funny thing here. Now, we look at the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman, and 2 of these characters are very diverse because of the fact that the roles differ greatly. Batman's a very dark character, a very distinguishing sort of detective-like character, whereas Bruce Wayne is more of the playboy, the charming fellow. And the thing that sort of Stephen Wadling brought up. He's a new host for our Mega Powers radio shows. He was recently on Keeping Kayfabe. He did Otaku Nation with myself, and maybe on Saturday's episode of I Got Gameplay with me. So check him out for that. But to mention Stephen here, he made a good point that Batman as a character has never been played the same as the comic books, because you can't, there's no written...
There's always change in the way Batman is all the time.
Yeah, it's not been set in stone.
He's either a... How can I say? He's either a hard-pointed guy where he's going to go out there either knock people down really hardcore, or then he's either a nice guy who has a bit of a not funny side, but kind of like, I'm gonna get you or this. But the thing is, I mean, it's like with George Clooney and Val Kilmer. Where do I start with them?
Well, we'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll go into
that. But yeah, it hasn't been written yet. So the character basically, you need there's several components that go into a movie. So you've got like the direction, you've got the writing, you've got the character that's been built up by the actors as well, and you've got all the other little components, sort of like staging, lights and effects and pre-production, post-production, you know. And when you're doing something like this, you basically have to look at casting, and obviously Affleck wasn't just brought in and said, "Oh, you're Batman now," you know, or someone had a dinner with him and said, "I want to make you my Batman." Zack Snyder was probably involved in the casting here. David S. Goyer, who wrote the script for the Man of Steel movie, was involved in the casting. So obviously they have faith in Affleck, and Warner Bros. Studios have faith in Affleck, and he's done a remarkable role since his, you know, return to prominence, so to speak. You know, especially with his Oscar speech when he did Argo, because he won a Best Director nod, didn't he? For Argo.
Yeah, he done good with that. But I mean, Daredevil, he did.
But he wasn't the worst thing in that movie.
He wasn't worse. He played the role good. He did it all right.
The choice of casting was wrong to begin with.
I'll be where do I start with that? Basically, I mean, it's the way a director makes a film. If a film is plausible and it's really good, then that film's going to be good for you.
Yes.
But if the director's not that good, and they've rushed the film or something, then that film is going to be terrible.
Yeah. The thing is, if you look at the way that the business works, you know, for those of you who are in the know, you understand as a filmmaker, direction is different in comparison to being like theatre, for instance. Theatre, you're directing these people and you're working with them up until the point of when the production starts. Then after the production starts, the director's hands off. But they always involve themselves in the creative process, so they'll help the actors through, get the actors through their lines, understanding their characters, and help them build the building blocks to basically achieve the desired result. Now, in film, it's a different story. Sometimes, depending if you've got a writer-director, or if you have a director who's more wants to do it by script, so to speak, if he says to an actor, for instance, I'm telling Jonah here, you need to do this. I think you should do this. So it affects his choices with the character. That you can't just hand the character over to Affleck and say, do Batman how you feel, because it's not going to work that way, because it would just be Ben Affleck playing Batman. And same thing with Bell. They didn't say to him, do what you feel with Batman, and Bell came up with that grindy voice.
Well, the thing is, I think Christian Bale, is it Christian Bale? Yeah, it's Christian Bale. He basically said in an interview that he wanted to portray Batman like he was in the comic books, but in a certain way where he...
Well, like he had rocks in his mouth.
but he wanted to make him in a way where he'd say... Like, for instance...
Like he had throat cancer.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is he made Batman sound a bit better, and he made him look good in a certain way. He portrayed Bruce Wayne and Batman as two different individuals.
Well, the thing is, he had his own take on the character. And the thing is as well, that works with that was the story was so much better. No offence to Tim Burton, but his was kind of sort of quick to the point kind of thing, and he fleshed out the story as the films went on. With Batman Begins, the story encapsulated the character more. So we went through Bruce Wayne's journey through day one.
Batman, yeah. How it all started, why he became Batman.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the beginning, it's shown he's afraid of bats.
So that's actually taken from the comic books. That is in canon.
So in a word of speaking, it's lucky they took it out of the comic books. Some directors, when they do films, some of them sometimes they don't even take it. Here's my version of Batman.
Green Lantern is a primary example of this. Yeah. Some writer just went, here's an idea, I'll totally rewrite everything and we're just going to do it this way. And then you've got a guy like Ryan Reynolds who did a remarkable job. Remarkable job as Hal Jordan. And it totally got shat on and overshadowed by the fact that this movie was completely and utterly useless. Because the story didn't work, right? Because there were elements in the movie that you didn't understand. Like, why was Abin Sur in a spaceship in the first place when he's got a power ring that lets him fly through the universe, right? I know he had a spaceship that crashed in the original movie, in the original like comic books and stuff.
I think the director was taking bits and pieces from the comic book. He's like flicking through it.
Was it the director that wrote it?
Yeah, and then we just see this. Yeah, he read it, but the thing is,
no, but who was it that wrote it? Because I think it was a separate guy. But the fact is, you know,
be honest, I didn't know, because once I watched the film, I thought
Ryan Reynolds wasn't the worst thing in it, and
Ryan Reynolds was the best, but it was just
it was just a really bad movie, and that's the problem. Then you have to account for the fact that studios tend to get involved as well. Right, producers tend to get involved. If you're doing a theatre production, you're not going to have a producer in a suit go, actually, I think that guy playing the Brecht, I don't even know who Brecht is. Can you do it a bit more Shakespeare? Really? Yeah, it's a Brechtian play. No, Shakespeare, he's the better guy, you know, doing that. So do Shakespeare and forget about that other guy, Brecht. Yeah. You know, when you look at that, they don't get involved in that process. Producers have nothing to do with those plays. So the actor gets more creative, the direction is more creative, and everything else in terms of the setup is more creative. Whereas in films, if a studio gets involved, you're going to do what the studio tells you to do. The cuts, the direction of the character. Like, for instance, Daredevil, go back to that as a prime example. Elektra wasn't supposed to be a part of that film. They did a director's cut and alienated director Nachos out of that film. But Jennifer Garner's Elektra was terrible. And again, I'm not holding it against her for it, because she's done some pretty good movies.
She's quite a nice individual.
Yeah, she's done a crapshoot in terms of what roles she's played.
She's done a lot of good roles.
But in terms of the character
she tried her best on it, I'll be honest.
No, but it didn't fit her. They did this in a pretension.
I think she was all right. I mean, I know you. I think it's just the director's fault, to be honest.
No, it's not the director's. This is the thing.
You don't think it's the director's fault?
No, I think it's a lot of things. A lot of the components in the movie was involved. The writing was poor. The direction wasn't that great. Yeah, but I'm not saying it was totally the director's fault.
Why do you think they picked Jennifer Garner to be?
Because the studio wanted her for a spin-off movie. They wanted to open it up for Elektra Zonar.
No, fair enough. So they just chucked.
Remember that straight-to-DVD piece of shit that came out?
Oh God, don't even start with that. I watched it. It was terrible.
It was. Had that guy from ER in it. So yeah, that came out. It was terrible. That didn't work. You know, and they wanted to basically spin that off, and that didn't happen. Now, these are the things that you guys out there, you sane people who have a brain and probably will actually figure this out. Yeah, you'll figure this out, and I think you're all intelligent, especially the guys who tune into my channel. You know, you're all intelligent people, so you should understand that there's a whole different creative process in making movies than there is for making theatre or making television. But kind of TV and movies, they're kind of the same thing in a sense, because you have those existing components like producers that work within, you know, those constraints and tend to put their oar in every now and then. And TV, you have showrunners. Films, you don't have those. You know, there are differences. And in a sense, this is the problem. Now, the main thing that you can do with these movies, with the Batman movie, I believe Zack Snyder's going to have more control over Superman and Batman than he did over Man of Steel, which I still consider a good movie, but not amazing. David S. Goya is going to continue writing scripts, so that's going to be great. And they're all going to be part of this creative process. And don't get me wrong, I think Ben Affleck's going to have a lot more to prove, but I believe he will do it justice. Just look at Heath Ledger's Joker. Remember Heath Ledger's Joker? Everyone said, oh, the guy from Brokeback Mountain, you know, the gay guy who's going around in a cowboy hat screwing the other guy.
He actually took it seriously.
Yeah, Mr. Joker. Doing Jake Gyllenhaal, you know. That he did take it seriously.
You see, the thing is, with an actor, it's dependent if they take their role seriously. If you get some actors like, oh, I'll just be myself, then
Layer Cake, primary example.
Yeah, it's just gonna basically.
Still a good movie though.
It's good. Layer Cake was very good. I thought it's good.
Even though Daniel Craig was playing Daniel Craig.
Yeah, no, but what I'm trying to say is.
Or every Danny Dyer movie in existence.
But like I said, it's dependent upon what your role is and who you're going to be. If you go in there I'll give you an example, Superman, and then you don't go in there as Superman, you're going to go, oh mate, it's again. They're going to look at you and go,
yeah, Superman is a Cockney Londoner.
Superman.
Yeah, people are going to get pissed off.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
and you'll get severely, you get severely downrated.
yeah. And as an actor, your career's ruined.
Yep.
But just think of it this way. Keaton played it his way. Kilmer played it his way, and people weren't pissing over Kilmer. Okay? Clooney played it his way.
Please,
yes.
don't start with Clooney.
People hated Clooney's Batman, but his.
I'll get you. What did he say? I'll get you, freeze.
No, it was stop, freeze.
Yeah, that's it. Oh god.
But his portrayal of Bruce Wayne worked a lot better. He didn't even admit he half-assed it.
Bruce Wayne was good,
and he admitted there was like issues from day one.
When he went in there, the director never went, "Yeah, just get on with it. Don't worry. We'll just flag it from here." And you're like,
Joel
really?
Schumacher. Yeah, Joel Schumacher is just never. I'm glad Batman Triumphant never came to be, because that would have just no.
They were actually going to do Dark Knight. Do you remember?
No, he was doing Batman Triumphant. That was going to be the third one.
Clooney.
Yeah, that was going to be the next in the Clooney. Apparently, they're going to do a 3 new pictures with Clooney as Batman. I'm glad that never happened. The thing is, Clooney is more of your Bond type guy.
Yeah. Clooney's a good actor. Don't get me wrong.
He would be a great James Bond if he knew how to do an English accent.
Just forget Batman. Sorry.
But in terms, he's more the suave, sophisticated Sean Connery type, and Batman, in a sense, is it's good for Bruce Wayne, by the way.
Yeah.
But I
mean, if
Batman
they said you're going to just be Bruce Wayne and then they get some other guy to do Batman, cool.
Batman is more the dark, tactical type, and no, we're not going to go X-Men Origins Wolverine thing with with Wade Wilson. No.
What are you talking about?
2 different actors playing the same fucking character. No. That's just no. Okay. Just don't listen to him. His credibility's gone out the window.
Well, what are you talking about? What did I have to say wrong?
Yeah, 2 different people playing the same character.
No. What I'm talking about is that before Ben Affleck was chosen, they were actually going to do that.
What, considering playing 2? No.
They were going to actually get. They were actually going to get Batman. Yeah. In the new Superman, you know, the one you told me about, they were actually going to get it where they were going to get Batman to be a separate person, and it'd be basically the same person in the comic book kind of thing. But what it would be is
Batman would be like a stunt actor in a sense.
Kind of, yeah. And then what would have happened? They said they were going to do that, and then it would have been because it was in the Empire magazine, and it said that the Batman, they were just going to have a separate guy to do Bruce Wayne, and they're going to have a separate guy to do Batman.
Right, so I'm glad that hasn't happened.
I'm glad that didn't happen, to be honest. It could have made a lot of people angry.
So siding off on this though, guys, think about it this way: you've got Ledger wasn't believed as to be the Joker. He
done a great job.
Yeah, and he won a supporting actor Oscar for that.
I think he's amazing.
Keaton wasn't a believable Batman, where people were going on about that, and he became a believable Batman.
Yeah,
he proved everyone wrong.
Did it right.
You know, whoever has donned that cape, whoever has been Batman, have proved that they can don the cowl. And as far as I'm concerned, people need to get off their high horses. They need to watch the footage.
A shot, so
watch the footage, and I'm going to leave you a link at the bottom that's going to tell you exactly. It's a fan-made trailer, but it looks awesome, and it portrays Affleck in such an amazing perspective as Bruce Wayne Batman. So make sure you guys check that out, and also make sure you like, comment, subscribe, of course, to see more of me, more of Jonah. As we're going to do another sort of video together doing a tabletop game, because we're going to talk about the ins and outs of Monopoly, so that's coming up. And also stay tuned for more of my vids. Movie Files coming back next week. From Tuesday onwards, we're going to be having more Movie Files. We're going to finish off Sly Stallone week, and also make sure that we keep going, because I need to get to 100 before Movie Files spans off into sort of like 1 video a month. And check out more Fanboys Anonymous stuff. You can go to fanboysanonymous.com to actually read the article on this take and watch this video of myself and Jonah basically speaking our minds on this, because I needed a second opinion on it, and I think he kind of mirrors my belief that give Affleck a chance. You know, there's...
If it screws it up, then of course you guys are going to turn around.
If it screws it up, you can all sit there and point and call him names.
Call him names. I know you're going to end up going, you done that terrible. But it depends on him. He's now going into a big role. he's now got to wear the shoes, so he's got to take responsibility.
Of course. And if you want to check out my other videos, check out This Job for Hire, which is at the bottom there. Just to say that the channel is back to normal now because I won my copyright claim against Nintendo because they were sitting there trying to shut the channel down. Luckily, that didn't happen, so there you go, Nintendo. I still love you, even though your legal team are full of shit. That's pretty much it from us, guys. Make sure you check out all the other videos. Check out the channel. Sub it, of course, if you love what we do. And stay tuned to fanboysanonymous.com. Mega Powers Radio, 8 PM every Saturday. I've got gameplay. And also, make sure that you tune into the Daceman Show every Wednesday at 8 PM because we've got Chris Dace. We've had some fun with that as well. It's a great show to be on. And that's pretty much it from us, guys. And we will see you at the movies.
Later, guys.